Brick fans, this is Dave from Brick 101, and today I'm going to show you how to build Yoshi out of Lego. So today's video includes a few different builds, Yoshi, Baby Mario, and a Yoshi Egg. So there's links in the video description where you can jump ahead to those parts of the video. I'll also do that as a first comment on the video for mobile viewers, so you can jump ahead to those later parts of the video if you just want to get right into the building. Before that, just a couple quick updates. I received over 250 comments requesting to build Yoshi, making it one of my top requested builds for a long time. I'm really excited to finally bring Yoshi to all of you. So I worked with Kevin Hinkle to design this model. If you're not familiar, Kevin Hinkle is an amazing guy. He's a talented artist. He did this amazing fan art for Nightly News at 9 back in the day. He also worked for the LEGO Group for a number of years in their community team. Now he's off doing his own thing, and that thing is pretty awesome. It's called Bricks in the Middle. It's a webcomic. I got this custom minifigure of Sparks, the main character from Bricks in the Middle, this summer at Brick World Chicago, and the webcomic has been on hiatus for a while, but it'll be restarting in January, so be sure to go check out bricksinthemiddle.com and follow them on all the social platforms. They're doing great stuff, and I'm really excited to see what they do in the future. Also, if you like this Yoshi build, you might also be interested in these sets from Abby Dabbles. So I collaborated with Abby Dabbles to create this set in the middle, the Super Retro Console. This is a limited run set. I think there's only 50 of them right now. Abby Dabbles has also previously created these red and green Plumber Brothers sets. So all of those are available now on the Abby Dabbles website. So go check it out, support another awesome LEGO fan business, and Brick 101 in the process. Also, Abby Dabbles still has the blue Skeleton Brothers sets that I designed in stock, a few left. They've been selling well at conventions around the country this year, so thanks to all of you fans who have purchased these in person or online from Abby Dabbles. Alright, let's build some Yoshi. I designed Lego Mario, Luigi, and Bowser a while ago, and I wanted this Yoshi to be about the same size, so that was kind of the guidance I gave to Kevin, and he came back with his model and I tweaked it a little bit to kind of come up with this final Yoshi model. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I think it's looking awesome. A quick note about colors for Yoshi. So there's 3 basic shades of green that are approximately Yoshi green. Green, bright green, and lime green. Green is the oldest Lego green. It exists in a lot of parts. That's the green I chose because it's the easiest green to work in. Bright green is probably the closest to the exact Yoshi green, as it were. However, there's not a lot of parts in that color. It's a very hard color to try and work in. Lime is somewhere between those two in terms of parts availability. I think it's a little too light, a little too yellow for me for Yoshi, so that's why I chose regular green. But, you know, use whatever green you have. Also, Yoshis come in many colors, so you don't have to do a green Yoshi. From the original Super Mario World, we had red, blue, and yellow Yoshis, and there have been many variants since then: light blue, pink, brown, black, gray, white, lots of different Yoshi colors. Basically, any color you want to build a Yoshi in is legitimate and canonical, so go wild. Okay, let's start by building Yoshi's torso. I'm going to start with some white 2x2 upward slopes and some white 1x1 bricks with stud on one side, which I shall henceforward refer to as Kevin bricks because Kevin used a bunch of them in this build, so I dubbed them Kevin bricks. So take those slopes and Kevin bricks, and then take our under tile friend in white and connect some of those. We'll leave that back upward slope hanging off, but at least get those Kevin bricks on there. I'm just going to keep saying Kevin a lot. Then let's take a 2x4 plate in green, go across. Next level, I'm going to use some 1x4s. It's covering the 2x4 space, but I don't like to stack two 2x4s on top of each other. This way it's easier to use a brick separator to pull off this top layer when you want to take this apart later. So I always try to think about that when I'm building, not to ever stack two bricks that are exactly the same on top of each other if I can avoid it. Over here on the front, do some more Kevin bricks in white. Now for Yoshi's tail, there's this amazing piece. It's a 1x2 kind of modified plate, slopey spoiler thing. I don't even know what to really call this. It's basically the Yoshi tail piece. It is perfect for that. So if you have that, that works great for his little tail at the back. If you don't have that piece, a 1x2 cheese slope can also work for the little tail, or perhaps a 1x2 click hinge like that with a tile on top. You know, just something there for the little tail. A Yoshi tail is actually really short in normal mode, at least. They don't really have much of a tail. Then a 2x2 white plate here and a 1x2 green plate. Now for here, we're going to build the top of the saddle. Red 2x2 tile looks great for most situations. However, for actually attaching people, it might be better to have something like a 1x2 tile and a jumper plate, or a 1x2 plate in that place, or just a 2x2 plate. I'll show the different scenarios I use for attaching things later, but if you're just building Yoshi on his own, maybe like this, you could also do, if you have one of these, this new 2x2 jumper that's round, you have that in red, that looks pretty nice too. So we'll just put that there and leave the other pieces for later. Almost forgot. This piece, 1x2 cheese slope in green going up, then a 1x2 plate and a 1x2 jumper in white. Finish off the torso. Kind of looks like not much right now, but once we add everything else on, believe me, it'll look like Yoshi. Next up, get an Erling brick in green, and then on top of that, on the front, do a 1x2 curvy slope in green and a 1x1 plate in green. Then on the top, a 1x2 tile. And you're going to do 2 legs, so it's going to be mirrored on one leg from the other. And then a 1x1 in green and a 1x1 in orange, square. And then a 1x2 in orange and yellow. And then a 1x1 round in orange. So build 2 legs mirrored like that. And those will each attach to the Kevin bricks down here, attaching to the Erling brick back. So that lines up nicely. What's nice about these legs is it does let you pose Yoshi at a little bit of an angle. So right now he's kind of just normal, but I like to have him slanted slightly up. I feel like that's kind of the right Yoshi pose. You can go even further than that, you know, pretty crazy. But generally, just a few degrees, I think, looks good. Now it kind of looks like a headless bird. I guess dinosaurs are birds. Or birds are dinosaurs. The arms are super simple. Just want a corner plate, or a 1x2 and a 1x1. And then a 1x2 tile and a 1x1 tile. Attach to the Kevin brick and the other Kevin brick. So those are the arms. You can swing them up and down on your Yoshi. Okay, now we're going to build the head. Start with one of these 2x2 round jumper plates. I've barely used these jumpers. I kind of forget they exist. They're a relatively new piece. Kevin used them a bunch in these builds, so I'm going to start calling these Kevin jumpers. So take your Kevin jumper and attach it to a 2x2 plate with a curved side, aka the Mario hat plate. So Kevin plus Mario equals Yoshi's mouth. For the tongue, we're going to take a 1x1 red clip plate, stick it in the extra hole on the end of that, and this is not like an official connection, but you can stick a antenna piece right into that clip and then just put a 1x1 on the end. That allows you to move the tongue up and down. It's not the most stable connection. You could also do something like this for the tongue if you want it more stably connected. It just doesn't look as nice if you do plates like that, but it can pose in different ways with more stability. Okay, now let's start building up the rest of the head. Take a green 1x2 plate with handle there. I'm going to use some Technic 1x1 bricks. The color doesn't matter for inside of the cheeks there. Back here, take some Erling bricks in green. Then on those, a 1x2 plate and a 1x2 jumper. And let's start putting on Yoshi's head spikes. So for the bottom one, we're going to use a red 1x1 plate with clip on top. Clip it down there. We'll bend it up a little bit later. For this one, do a round plate and a square tile in red. Level above that, we're going to do another 1x2 plate with handle. Put another 1x1 red plate with clip. Make sure all three of these head spikes are horizontally aligned. Then you want to twist the bottom one up as far as it goes and the top one down as far as it goes. So then they should be all pretty close. This was the best way I could get 3 red spikes on the back of his head at this size. I think it looks really good in the finished product, but there's many different ways you could try to do this. For the eyes, do some more Erling bricks up here, and then some 1x1 white rounds, and then those eye tiles I love so much. And an ambulance in the background of my video. I hope everybody is okay. Okay, now for the nose. Take a 2x2 plate in green, build up a 1x2 and a 2x2 like so. Then take these tiny green arches and these 1x2 curvy downward slopes. If you've got a 2x2, that works really well there. All of that goes on here under the eyes, above the tongue. Now the last thing to do is add cheeks. So use some Kevin jumpers and some under tiles. One of those for each side gives Yoshi his signature cheeks. Another way you could theoretically do this is instead of those Technic bricks, you could use some Kevin bricks and maybe give him really big cheeks like these dome pieces. Or you could use a Kevin brick, a Kevin jumper, and then a 2x2 saucer, and that also makes a nice puffy cheek that's not too big. So a couple different ways to do it. If your name is Kevin, you know, put as many Kevin pieces in it as possible. Last but not least, the finishing touch. Attach jumper to jumper, Yoshi's head to Yoshi's body, and position Yoshi as you like. Tongue, the head rotates. It's not the smoothest rotation. There's actually, it can rotate in 2 different ways. It can rotate on the Kevin jumper, or the Kevin jumper can rotate on the lower jumper. That's important later when we add riders. The arms can move up and down. The tongue can move up and down. You could also extend the tongue and build it longer. Again, the legs can move. So there's a lot of different ways you could theoretically pose this Yoshi. I think it's a really great looking build at a nice small scale where lots of people should be able to find pieces to build this in some Yoshi color at least. And yeah. If you want slightly bigger eyes, the next kind of option up is these Mixel eyes, which are the like sphere piece. So if you put 2 of those on a 1x3 green plate, they will kind of fit right in place at the top. It looks kind of good from the side, but it looks really weird from the front. It's hard to make those eyes not look ridiculous. But if you want like a cross-eyed Yoshi, that works. There's also these Mixel head eyes, which are slightly less goofy, but still a little oversized for this size Yoshi. Probably need Yoshi to be a little bit bigger overall for those eyes to work, which is why we ended up doing just those 1x1. Which is why we ended up just doing the 1x1 eye tiles, and everything fell apart. That's also a reason we didn't do these eyes. Everything falls apart when you're watching Brick 101 fall apart. There we go. Crazy eyes. Not as weird, but still pretty weird. If you want to kind of animate Yoshi's tongue to make it look like it's flinging out in that kind of move, you could start with a red maraca, kind of as the tongue just barely out of the mouth. Then move to one of these red police traffic sign pieces. I don't know the official name there, but that's more of a little further. And then finally going to the main thing, which is this antenna piece with the 1x1 round plate for the end of the and then you'd go back the same way. So yeah, that's just kind of a cool thing, finding different pieces that kind of look like the tongue and having it at different lengths there. Now let's do a few modifications to Yoshi to allow Mario to ride him. So first things first, we're going to take off the head and these 2 plates on the top here, and replace that plate and jumper plate with just 2 normal plates. Put the head back on, move it 1 forward. That just gives Mario a little more room to sit on Yoshi. Take off this 2x2 circle tile and put on a 1x2 tile and a 1x2 plate and knock over Mario for fun. Alright, next on Yoshi we're going to take these 1x2 tiles on the legs off and replace them with 1x2 green jumpers. One of those on each side. That's all the Yoshi modifications. Now let's modify Mario a bit. First things first, take off his blue plate with yellow plates on the front because that makes him too fat to sit on Yoshi. Take his legs off, and then we're going to take one piece off of his torso. So if we open this up here, we're going to take out this Kevin brick and replace it with a Technic 1x1 brick. If I can get that. Alright. So replace that with the hole pointing down, and then you can reattach his arms. Gonna quickly build a new waist for Mario. 2x3 plate, some 1x2 tiles on each side, a 1x1 tile, and a 1x1 plate. So now that can connect into the Technic brick there. Gives him a nice waist area. And then this will fit nicely onto that 1x2 plate on the back there if you center the 2 studs in the holes in the middle of the plate. Gets Mario positioned nicely, and you will have to kind of finagle Yoshi's head a little bit to fit on there at the same time as Mario. Their heads kind of overlap a little bit, but it is possible to get them both on without too much interference. Also helps if you move Mario's head over half a stud like that. So that's looking pretty good. Now we just need to give Mario some legs again. So the easiest way to do this is to take that jumper off of Yoshi's leg, then take a blue Erling brick, connect that to the jumper, and then take Mario's existing leg, pull off the shoe, put the shoe on the jumper. That'll fit on nicely. You can get rid of that cylinder brick, and then for the back we're just going to take that 1x1 plate and 1x1 round plate just to fill it out a little bit. And now might have to take off Mario's arm to get the leg on first. Or take Yoshi's leg off. A little bit of finagling to get this all in place. Reattach the leg. But now Mario's leg should line up pretty nicely with his waist to look like, you know, he's seated here on Yoshi. And you can do the same thing on the other side. So putting that all back together, you've got Mario riding Yoshi here, straight out of Super Mario World or Super Mario Galaxy 2, Guess Sunshine, some other games, etc. Alright, let's build Baby Mario. So the centerpiece for this is going to be a white Travis brick. Those are pretty rare. If you can't find white, it will be mostly covered up, so white's not essential, but that is the best look. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. I buy Travis bricks every time I see them on a Bricklink store, so I have Travis bricks for days. Anyway, on one side you're going to put a 1x1 tile in white, and then the side right next to that, another one. The other two sides will be plates in white, and then for Baby Mario's legs, just two 1x2 plates on top of each other. If you have a round tan tile, you could put that at the end. I did not. Then a tan Technic brick. If you don't have that, I'll show you an alternate way to do that. And then some tan arms and tan hands, which I stole from Jar Jar Binks. One of the few things Jar Jar is good for is tan hands. So plop the hands into the Technic brick so that the arms become arms, if that makes sense. And then that connects diagonally to the piece below it, and now you've got some arms which have some posability, though it's pretty limited because it's hard to do movement on that Technic brick. If you don't have a Technic brick, you could also use an Erling brick with a little bit of flex tubing in it. So one arm would go in the back of the Erling brick and the other one would grab onto the flex tubing. That's a technique I used for my micro scale Minecraft Steve before. But yeah. Alright, now on to Baby Mario's head. Pretty rare piece here is this 1x2 click hinge in tan. I really wish LEGO would produce these in bulk. They're great for noses at this double fig scale. Unfortunately, that's a scale that only I really work in, so LEGO doesn't prioritize them. Then a jumper plate that's new style and has the hole in the middle as opposed to the little peg in the middle. So those go there, and I forget the next step. Oh yeah, Erling bricks in tan for the eye sockets, and for the eyes I'm using little bits of flex tubing in black, which kind of give him the nice little black dot eyes that Baby Mario has. You could also just leave them empty. They work pretty well just as empty sockets, or you could do Brickhead's eyes on there. Also for the nose, if you don't have that click hinge piece, a 1x2 plate with handle and a 1x1 plate with clip on top is a nice nose substitute. For the back of the head, some 1x2s in tan, brown, and red for flesh, hair, and hat. Connect it all together with the all-important Mario hat plate. I love this piece for Mario and other plumber hats. And then one of these 1x2 with handle on top. Put down sideways so we can do the little spot for the Mario white circle which is a 1x1 circle with hole through the center. Then this whole thing is going to connect to the body in the middle of that jumper plate. Technically, since this is a Technic pin, this could be an old style jumper, but this is just, you're a little safer if it's a new style jumper. So now we've got cute little baby Mario in his diaper ready to be delivered by Yoshi to Bowser's castle. But, you know, like in a adventurous way, not in a evil way. So now it's time to add baby Mario to Yoshi's back. A couple quick Yoshi modifications to do this. So we're going to take off this front two plates here and replace it with just some 1x2 plates, so no jumper. And then we'll reattach Yoshi's head slightly forward. This is just going to give baby Mario a little more room back there. So it's like half a stud that Yoshi's head is moving forward. So then take off that 2x2 circle tile, put a 1x2 tile and a 1x2 jumper, and then baby Mario should fit nicely on that jumper, though he just lost one of his arms. Reattach that very quickly. So yeah, so now you can nicely position baby Mario on Yoshi, and please keep him on there at all times, because if you get hit, baby Mario starts to fly away in a bubble and cry, and then there's an alarm going off, and it is the worst sound in human history because it is just nerve-wracking, and you must catch baby Mario. Brings back bad memories. As a bonus, Kevin also designed a body for baby Mario when he's not in his diaper, so the kind of look of baby Mario from Mario Kart and other games like that. So let's start with a blue 2x2 round for the bottom of the kind of overalls look of baby Mario. And then we'll do some red 1x1 plates with clip. These could also be clips oriented the other direction, you know, like that instead of this. Doesn't really matter. Then a red round and a blue round on top of that. And then for the hands, 1x1 plate with clip on top in red and a tan 1x1 round. Use the illegal clip to clip collection. Welcome to the dark side, Kevin. And then on the bottom, I'm going to use some white 1x1 rounds. And for each shoe, baby Mario's shoe is kind of like a medium as your 1x2 on white 1x2. Then if you have one, you could use a red Kevin jumper on the top and attach the head to that, but I don't, so I had to make do with a 2x2 plate. Then I attached a 1x1 round to the bottom of the head here and just centered that in that. Looks, whoop, broke his foot there. Still looks pretty good. So now baby Mario is ready to race his older self in Mario Kart, which is like a time paradox, but hey, it's a video game. Last but not least, let's build some eggs for Yoshi. So I wasn't even going to include an egg in this video, and then randomly, while I was working on something else, I came across this old orange egg in my collection. I think I built this based on somebody else's design and just kind of copied it and made it orange for whatever reason. I don't remember, so I'm not going to take credit for this design, but I don't know who to give credit to. Anyway, let's look at these Yoshi eggs. So the basic design of this egg is built around two Travis bricks. I'm using a white one and a black one. The color isn't super important. A little bit of one of them will show at the top, so you can see I used a black one on this one. It's showing a little bit. So if you've got at least one white one, that's great, but not super important. Again, white Travis bricks are a little bit rare. So for one side, you're going to take a 1x3 plate. I'm going to do a white one and then put some tiles, white and green, and you can mix and match what's white and green on this just to make it look the way you want to. Next, take some jumpers, doing white and green, connecting those with a 1x2 tile. Another 1x3, this time I'm using green, covering it with some white tile. and then another set of jumpers. And then the way you're going to connect all of these is take one of the Travis bricks, put one of the 1x3 plates up there, and then the other Travis brick is going to go on the other side pointing down, and then we're going to fill in the other 1x3 plate on the other side. Down here we'll take this set of jumpers and the other one on the other side. Going to leave you with a few spots left. On the top here, we'll do some 1x1 plates just to fill out that part. And put a small 1x1 round plate on the top and a 2x2 radar dish on the bottom. Really give it that egg shape. So you can see these two eggs here, I just kind of varied where I was doing white and green. Yoshi eggs kind of have those different green spots on a mostly white background, so I just kind of picked different places to do it, white or green. One thing that's really interesting to think about with Yoshi and Mario is that Yoshi is kind of basically like Mario's adopted parent. Yoshi spends this whole game carrying baby Mario across the world and protecting him. If baby Mario, even for a second, falls away from Yoshi, Yoshi goes out of their way to save the baby Mario. Then Mario grows up, and Mario basically treats Yoshi as a disposable, kind of horse. Mario's constantly jumping over pits and dropping Yoshi to save himself after Yoshi spent so much time protecting and caring for baby Mario. Yeah, I guess there's an allegory in there about parents and children if you think about it too hard. But that's just a theory. Here's a look at Yoshi and Mario facing off against Bowser, which I previously made, and Mario and Luigi hanging out with Yoshi, just to show you some of the other things I've built at this scale and how they all kind of look nice and cool and awesome together. Many thanks for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Brick 101, and check out all my other how to build video game character videos.